When you think of the Midwest, creative talent isn't the first thing that comes to mind. Amongst the vast farmland and countryside are creatives of all types. Filmmakers, photographers, graphic designers, music composers, sculptors. Our team is here to showcase those artists to the world. Welcome to The Next Frame.
My name is Madeline Dooher. I am an office worker by day and writer-director by night, and I'm originally from Minneapolis, but I call Madison home now. I mean, I owe so much of my creative endeavors to my parents. Honestly, my dad is a huge movie buff, and I mean, as a kid, I was watching The Godfather and Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid one night, and then Little Mermaid and Winnie the Pooh the next night. Like, we had family movie nights more than we had family get-to-know-you nights. And he's always been a huge movie person and just wanted me to experience all the fun things that he loved about film, even when I was like probably too young to watch a lot of the films that I was watching. My mom always gave him a hard time for that. So at a very young age, I was super into a lot of the classics. I mean, my first movie crush was George Clooney for some reason. And I also really loved Ewan McGregor, so everyone else was Justin Bieber, and I was over here like, Orlando Bloom's pretty cool, you know? And then my mom, she's like the craftiest person in the world. She can go to any craft fair, see something, and recreate it like perfectly, add to it most of the time. And she was very encouraging to me, especially in theater and anything musically. I mean, when I was a kid, I have footage of myself sitting at the kitchen table with little marshmallow bunnies, and I have this whole like dramatic musical that I'm acting out in front of the camera, and I'm like 4 or something like that. And she was just constantly pushing me to perform, and I was kind of a shy kid, so theater was something that gave me a community and instant friends. And so I started that when I was really young, and my parents were just crazy supportive of any creative endeavor I came up with. I mean, my mom still proofreads the first draft of anything that I ever write. So I owe all of that passion to them. I didn't feel the particular need to go into school to do anything. I think if you have the passion for it, you can do anything. Obviously, school helps with making the connections and learning the things that YouTube can't teach you. But I mostly it was because my parents didn't go to college, so I think they kind of wanted to live vicariously through me. My dad joked about moving into the college dorm with me so that he could go to all the freshman parties that I went to, because he didn't get to do that. So I went to UW Stout, and my degree was sort of a weird one. I don't even think they offer it anymore. I might have been the last graduating class with this degree. Technically, it's called a BFA in Entertainment Design with a concentration in digital cinema, which is a mouthful and doesn't really mean anything. But it was a cool degree because I got to focus on a few different things all at the same time. So I got all of the art fundamentals, pretty much anything design related, like drawing 1, 2, 3, painting 1, 2, 3. But I also took the same classes as the other concentrations, which were animation and comics and sequential art. So I took stop motion classes and 3D modeling classes, and I got this really broad understanding of a bunch of different creative fields. And I realized like that was kind of my thing. I loved having a creative toolbox where I had numerous amounts of tools and interests, and I could relate to anyone in any of those fields. So I'm really happy that I went to school, that I got that sort of connection. But I mean, the passion and my understanding of art didn't really evolve too much in school in general. You know, anyone can make anything, anytime, anywhere. And yeah, you don't need a degree to make something.
It's 2024. Kids these days don't care about old shows like Company or The Wiz or Fiddler on the Roof.
Hey, like, I actually saw that one and, like, they never explained why that fiddler was on the roof. Like, what was he doing up there? Was he stuck? Why no one ever, like, get him a ladder or something?
The fiddler is actually meant to represent survival, the persistence of community and tradition despite the shaky circumstances of life. It's a beautiful message, really.
Sure, but he's, like, up there the whole show. He's just hanging out, fiddling away. How does he eat? How does he sleep? How does he pee?
How does he pee?
I love theater and film for the same reasons, but also different reasons. I think they each have their own unique way of telling stories. On the stage, everything has to be so much bigger, but at the same time, it can be so much more abstract. Emotions need to be bigger. You can't get that classic Hollywood single tear falling down the cheek moment when you're on stage like you could in film. So instead, you have these huge outbursts of emotion because that's what you need to read in the audience. And there's something really cool about pulling that out of actors, of making things that are bigger than real life, but having them read as normal, as mundane. It's a whole separate concept of dynamics. So I love that in theater, you really get to push on representing stories in artsier ways than you can in film. But I love the micro emotion in film. I love those small, dense shots where it's just the actor and the emotion, and the storytelling can happen so microscopically. They're two very different things, but what it comes down to is the emotion of it that I love in both of them. So I got my degree, which is entertainment design, pretty broad, creative generally, and I knew that I wanted to do something with my degree out in the real world. That's everyone's goal. And I had a hard time because I couldn't quite get into it directly out of school. I didn't find that perfect job, and I didn't want to move to LA. So how do you pursue a career in the arts when you live in the Midwest? I think I struggled a lot with feeling the need to be successful immediately. And what I've come to find is now I work regular old office desk job at a wonderful company with wonderful people, but I never in a million years would have thought that that would be my 9 to 5. But I found peace with that, and I think I prefer it that way. I like being a part-time creative. I like that my free time is when I get to do the things that I love, and I do it for the sake of loving it, you know? I'm not making money doing it, but it's almost like keeps it more wholesome that way, more connected to why I want to make things in the first place. And then it can't be spoiled for me either, you know? So I'm happy part-time, free time creating. Well, honestly, it comes down to also letting go of the pride of it too, because a lot of times if I went through a big self-discovery moment when I first moved to Madison, which was a week before COVID shut down. So I've been here 4 years, but it doesn't feel like 4 years. But I went through a whole series of like, man, I haven't been working in my industry, and does that make me a failure? And can I still consider myself a creative if I'm not being paid to create? And I had to come to terms with the fact that like, that doesn't make you less of a filmmaker. If you're not being paid to be a filmmaker, it doesn't mean you can't be one. If you're doing theater for the love of it, or writing just because you want to write, that's still valid and that's still okay, you know? I think there's a lot of shame with people who go into the arts and aren't able to have a full career in the arts. And it's not for everyone, you know? And honestly, I don't know if I could be freelance. I don't know if I could deal with the stress of not having a stable position or having weird hours. It's like, I'm very lucky that I'm at a place in my employment where I love where I work and I love the people I work with, and I can afford to pursue my creative plans and endeavors in my free time. I mean, I'm proud of that, you know?
Let's get caught up with them.
Since moving to Madison, I found really cool communities in film and theater. And doing the 48-hour film project was something that was a huge challenge for me. And I'm really glad that I decided to do it, especially this last fall when I did the thriller for Wisconsin. I was encouraged very strongly to do the 48, even though I knew I would be out of town, actually hosting about 12 people. And I said, well, I'm gonna be out of town, I can't do it. And Michael Keeney, he said, yes, you can. Also, you're gonna be in a cabin in the woods. Why wouldn't you film a thriller there? So I went, okay, I knew I'm gonna have a day to film, a night actually, to film and make something, but I'll see what happens. And yeah, lo and behold, I had me and my 12 friends, and we got our genre and requirements at little before 8 o'clock. We wrapped filming before midnight, and I had an edited film by about 3:30, 4 a.m. And then the next day we went to the Ren Fair, and yeah, so I did the 48-hour film project in 8 hours, which I don't recommend to anyone, but it was cool to see that I could do it. So I like challenging myself like that. I like seeing what I can make within constraints to see what comes of that. So that was one project that I'm really rather proud of. For theater, I got really involved actually here at the Bartell where we're filming with Mercury Players, and they put on something really cool annually called their holiday panto. A pantomime is just like this old English tradition of retelling a classic story in a modern way with tons of audience interaction, and you boo the bad guy when they're on stage and you cheer for the good guy, and it's super fun for the whole family. And this last year, I got a really cool opportunity to direct and to help write. I can't say I have had more fun on any other project ever. We made a whole panto around Charlie Brown and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and we had Weird Al Styles rewriting of classic holiday songs, and it was just a total blast. And I'm super proud that they asked me to come back for next year, so there will be more to come. And that's the thing, is like, you can only do what you can do with your own talents and throwing them out in the world and seeing what happens. And it's super cool when you find a community that is encouraging of that, and you're actually excited for the opportunities that are coming down the road. That's all you could ask for.
You know, I think I'm kind of going somewhere with this recorder thing.
I've always loved Wisconsin. I mean, I'm a Minnesota girl, but Minnesota and Wisconsin are like two peas in a pod in my mind, as long as you're not talking about football, which I don't care about at all. Yeah, I mean, the Midwest in general is the place to be, in my opinion. Not even just because of it, but I do love having 4 distinct different seasons. I mean, you can't get that anywhere else. I mean, especially if you're talking about filming. I mean, where is a more diverse sort of filming experience than being able to have a snowy winter and a warm summer and beautiful fall colors? I mean, the Midwest is the place to be, if not also for the hospitality and how kind people are. I mean, they talk Minnesota nice, but I think it works the same way in Wisconsin. I've just found in the Madison community especially, everyone is just so gung-ho and ready to jump on and help you in whatever creative endeavor that you're going into. Everyone is encouraging and genuinely wants the best from everyone, and you don't get that everywhere. I mean, I've checked out New York, I've checked out LA, I went to Austin even. They're all perfectly great communities, but there's just something special about Wisconsin. I don't even know quite how to express it.
This is it. Looks like we might have a storm a brewing, so we're off like a herd of turtles. Come on, fellas.
Come on, let's go. How do you drive engagement to your channel?
Well, there's this little bitty thing called the algorithm, and I know what sort of beat it bounces to.
I think for me, I tend to be my own biggest obstacle. I suffer a lot with imposter syndrome and just, I'm constantly needing to remind myself that I can do anything I put my mind to. And it's like, it's the piece of advice that I give everyone is like, just do it. But it's also the hardest advice to then do, you know? And I gotta live by my own words. But I think when it comes down to it, the hardest part of any project is to start it. I have a million different scripts and ideas in my head, and hardly any of those are ever going to become anything. And because it's the hardest point is to decide to actually make the thing, which is so great about the 48-hour film project, is because it forces you to make a thing. At the end of it, you did it because you had to, you know? And in school, it was easy because you had projects and deadlines, and it's hard to keep that up on your own, especially when you're not doing it as a job. And it's just your free time and it's just you. Like for me, I'm a one-woman show. You know, I write, I'm the camera woman, I am the director, I'm the editor. I do everything. And so it's hard to first make that first step to make something. And yeah, I hold myself back sometimes of just feeling overwhelmed and like, oh, can I do this? Can I not? And that's when you need the community. That's when you need people to say, hey, you're good. You can make this. Like, I know that idea is kind of crazy and scary, but you don't know if you can make it until you try. And so just constantly challenging yourself and seeing if you can do the dang thing. That's the important part, you know, starting.
Be not rebellious against the Lord, and fear not the people of this land, for we are able to eat them up as bread. All aid is lost to them. The Lord is with us.
I think the hardest part of getting started in whether it's theater or film or just the arts in general is figuring out where the people are. And that can also be really scary, especially if you're someone like me where it's like, oh, I gotta talk to people, that sounds horrible, I don't wanna do that. But if you can find those people, if you can reach out to someone, anyone, it's understanding that generally everyone out there wants the best for everyone else. And so I highly encourage anyone who is worried about getting started or is feeling like maybe I can't do it, doesn't want to commit to making something, if that's okay, you know? Everybody starts somewhere. And I mean, Spielberg didn't make his perfect movie the first try. Nobody does. And if you can just be okay with just trying and doing your best and finding your people and the people that will support you and give you encouragement along the way, that's the first important step. And from there, it's just learning to not listen to the little voice in your head and doing your best with what you have.